Hi, everyone. So I thought it would be a good time to do another manifesting spread. Um, in case you don't know it, you're always manifesting. Whether you know that or not, we are always manifesting something in. So it's better to be intentional about our manifestations. It's better to not only be intentional, but also to know what you're manifesting so that if you don't particularly like what you're manifesting, you can manifest in something else. There's still time to pivot. So I'd like to start with a couple of ancestor messages. So let's see here. We're starting with Reiki. So that's a very interesting way to start this reading. So maybe there is a need to look at our energetic health, maybe the health of our chakras. But there is something here that's coming through your ancestors about Reiki. So let's get one more message from our ancestors. And just for those of you who are new to spiritual journeys or anything in general like that, you can talk to your ancestors anytime. They're always wanting to help. They're always wanting to listen. So just know that too. So then we're getting cold shoulder. So there may be someone in your energy right now who you may be having some kind of a conflict with. You may be taking a break from someone. You may be isolating from someone. But let's see what else wants to come out. But so far, we're starting with the messages of Reiki and cold shoulder. So this is interesting. So let's see what the tarot wants to tell us. So we have the Emperor, the Ten of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and Judgment, which I'm going to turn over the Judgment card just to make sure I'm abiding by the guidelines of YouTube. So then we have the Three of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, oops, Knight of Wands, coming in with this Knight of Swords. And then our outcome card is the Six of Wands. So I really like seeing the Six of Wands as the outcome when we're doing a manifesting reading. Underneath everything, we have the Four of Wands. This is another great card to see when we're doing a manifesting reading. So when I see these Four of Wands, this is a very celebratory feeling because you have hit some major milestones. This is a good time for you to really think about how much you have already done, but it's also a card of because you're doing so well, keep going because you're only at a 4. And I see 6 wands as your outcome. So this means, yes, pause to celebrate, pause to tell yourself how much you have done, how much you have grown, the milestones you have hit, but also now to use that energy, use all of that success to move yourself forward, to motivate yourself to continue to move forward. So you may be a Reiki healer. Some of you may be. Or you may be receiving Reiki treatments as we speak. If you are neither of those things, then this may be telling me that you have a need, or it might be a good idea for you to go out right now and find a Reiki treatment, or even to just go onto YouTube and find a Reiki video where you can get a healing video. I have plenty of those in my playlist, but you can decide for yourself what you would like to do. But there may be a need for you to really kind of address and look at your energy right now. Because when I'm seeing the Emperor here in your challenge position, it may be that you're struggling to have some kind of discipline to do something. And when I'm seeing this Four of Wands and the Six of Wands, it feels like you're really trying to push something forward. Probably something having to do with your work is what I'm getting because we have these 3 pentacles here. But if there is some kind of agenda you want to move forward, regardless of what that is for you and your situation, it feels like you are struggling to really put the discipline, organization into it, all of the things that the Emperor represents. Discipline, organization, strategy, structure. These types of things, it feels like you're struggling with it. And what I'm also getting from this, because Reiki is a non-traditional type of thing. So maybe you're not trying to push forward a Reiki business, for example, but you may be trying to push something forward that's also non-traditional, something that might be a bit unorthodox, something that might be a bit eccentric. And so if that's the case, there's even more of a need for you to really dig deep and try to pull on that discipline you need in order to do it, because you don't want to dim yourself down or hide what you're doing because you're worried that it might not be accepted by traditional viewpoints or traditional means. And so, for example, if you are opening a Reiki business, you might be skeptical to really start doing that, or really push forward your agenda, or market it, or talk to your neighbors about it, because you might be afraid of what they might think, is what I'm getting from that. But I do get the sense that you know that whatever you're doing currently, so for example, let's say it's your 9-to-5 job, but you really want to open a Reiki business, just to use that example. But you know that that's over. You know you have done too much. There's been too much done in that job. And it feels like you've already experienced that as much as you possibly can. That there was a purpose to that job, but you've now served that purpose. You've finished that karmic cycle. And there may even have been painful endings when it comes to whatever that job was. Because the 10 swords can be very painful. So maybe you were let go from a job. Maybe you were, maybe someone broke up with you, but make it make sense for something that needed to come to an end, but it felt like it happened in a very painful way. But it's also something where the universe is saying, yeah, but you were done with that. You've served your time with that. You learned what you needed to do. That was perhaps an initiation period for you to move on to something more important, something more of your spiritual calling, your spiritual growth, your spiritual path, your life's purpose, that you're done with that now. So let's move forward to something much, much better. I think that recently you figured out what this truth was. I think that recently it started to dawn on you that yes, this Reiki thing, this unorthodox thing, whatever that is for you, it started to dawn on you that that's really what you need to be doing, that this is your spiritual truth. You were getting probably epiphanies about it, inspirations about it, and understanding that your life and whatever this was, an old relationship, an old job, whatever that was completely out of balance for whatever it is that you feel you need to do. And in order to bring your life back into equilibrium, it's really requiring you to do the discipline, use the discipline to start whatever this is for you. But I think with this cold shoulder energy here, it's reflecting back on this 10 of Swords, that it feels like you may be moving into an energy where you try to go back to that old relationship. You try to go back to that old job because you're still feeling like you're not ready enough to do whatever this new thing is for you, that you don't feel confident about. That's the word. The Emperor in the challenge position can also be a lack of confidence, and I just got that. So it may be that you're still really trying to push yourself back into whatever this old situation was, whether this was an old relationship, an old job, make it make sense for you. But it feels like the energy you're about to just smack right into is one of a cold shoulder, because that job is not going to take you back. That old relationship is not going to take you back. And so it's really the universe giving you a little bit of tough love here and saying, yes, but you are in a position right now to start building something new. And it also feels like you understand that there are people around you who could help you. So you may have already started to talking to someone who already does what you want to do, or someone who, if you're trying to write a screenplay, for example, I use that example quite a bit, but it may be that you've already started collaborating. You've already started putting together these ideas and trying to figure out people who've already had a lucky break when it comes to these types of businesses, whatever you're doing, people who have already taken a gamble on it, have taken a chance on it, and they were surprised by how well it did. It feels like you're already seeing that. And so I think that's how the universe knew you were ready to be let go of whatever this situation was. That was painful for you. The ending was painful, yes, but being there was painful too. That is what the 10 of Swords is telling me. So the environment that the universe is really creating for you right now is this Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is one where you can sit and you can heal and you can mend and you can really get your mind under control. You can really calm the way you think. You can trust the things around you. You can trust the resources around you because you know you're about to be challenged. But this is giving you this opportunity to be able to face this challenge in a very calm and collected and confident way. So the universe really made sure you were ready before you were broken up with, before you were fired from a job, let's say. The universe made sure you were ready and then said, okay, you're done. You got to get out of this one job situation, whatever. But now you're ready. So, but there's a shadow side of you coming through here with this Knight of Wands because you want to do this. You're fired up. Whatever this is that you believe in so much that you've been getting all these epiphanies about, you are fired up. You're showing up as a Knight of Wands. But then there's a shadow side of you who is also afraid of taking these actions. And it may be because you feel right now, you know that this job here is not enough. You know that this relationship was not enough. Whatever this is for you, it was hollow. It was empty. You were bored at that job. Make it make sense for you. But there's also something a little bit about you that's afraid to be excited. There's the comfort zone coming in here with this Four of Swords, that being in a boring job or a boring relationship was your comfort zone. And coming out of your comfort zone requires this confidence. Again, we're getting this word confidence that you have, but you also don't have, that you want, but you're also afraid to want it. So, but what we are manifesting is the Judgment card. And that was the question we asked. What are we manifesting? And I think what's happening is, because I can just see what's happening, is you are manifesting your own spiritual awakening here by being let go of whatever that situation was, and then feeling like you want to pursue this other job and finding collaborators and being pushed out permanently of whatever this old situation was. Finding collaborators, doing the healing work and pushing this forward, that automatically is helping you release your patterns, release your contracts, release whatever these karmic situations were, which is a huge part of your spiritual awakening. So as you manifest that in, then you get to manifest the good stuff. You get the outcome of the success. You get the recognition. You get the fame. You get whatever it was that you were looking for in this situation. But you get that. You get all of that in all of these wands energy. You get this energy of, look, I did this for myself. And all the universe had to do was release you from this, and you had to do the rest of the work. You found the collaborators, you found the job, you did everything. You did it all on your own. And that is what you're manifesting. You're manifesting in your spiritual growth and your successes, your victories, your rewards, your blessings. So let's get a little bit more tarot, because I'd like to see you in this situation and maybe what you could be focusing on or what your challenges might be besides your confidence there. So there's the Eight of Pentacles. So I was having the feeling that this is a work reading, but it doesn't have to be. It could be just a project you're working on. It could be a relationship. But either way, you're certainly showing up as someone who really wants to be doing the work right now. You're putting the work in, and I think you're going to start to see the money come in slowly as you do the steady work. The Eight of Pentacles is about slow and steady progress, moving the needle forward. It's your long-term goals. So that's where you are right now, which is the perfect mindset to be in a reading like this. But let's see what else. So then we have the Five of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Seven of Swords. So the Five of Wands is what you're being asked to focus on. And I think what they're saying here with the Ten of Swords and the cold shoulder is to really focus on this feeling that you have to push back into something that's not meant for you. If you're finding conflict at this old job, if you're finding conflict with this old relationship, there's a need to really look closely at why you feel the need to continue to be in a situation that is not healthy for you, that there's a need here for you to set a boundary, say no, draw the line, say that's enough. The 10 of Swords should be that answer for you, that this was enough. When this person broke up with me, when this person cheated on me one more time, when this job told me they were going to give me a raise by the end of the month and they still haven't done that, whatever that is for you, that is your clear sign to focus on that and not want to go back in there. So, but your challenge is going to be these 2 8s. Your challenge looks to me to be one of getting the confidence, getting the discipline. The 8s are about the time is now, moving things forward, but it's also about doing the hard work. It's about self-mastery. And so this is really getting a good handle on your own discipline, which keeps coming up here. This idea that you really kind of pull on your emperor energy, your masculine energy. And everyone has masculine energy, but you really pull on that, your discipline to push this agenda forward and to take a lot of concerted action on this. The 8 of Wands is saying you are aligned with whatever this unorthodox thing you want to do is, but now you just have to do the work. Now you just have to go and do it. So, but your advice coming through here is the 7 of Swords. And this is saying don't avoid it. It's going to be an easy thing for you to avoid because when we started, we said you might be afraid of how this is going to be received, how it might look to other people. But this is just saying to make this your top priority and don't avoid it. Don't take shortcuts. This is the time to really put your nose down and do the work that you always wanted to do. The time is now. You're aligned with it. The 8 of Wands is all about alignment and being able to get stuff done. So let's start wrapping this up. I'd like to get a few big picture oracle cards. So there's the Broken Mirror, the Mouse, and the Tower. This is very clear that the job that you are in right now, the Tower card can usually represent businesses, institutions, headquarters, this type of thing. So again, corporation types of energies coming off of here that are making me feel like this is a work reading, but you're not seeing it right with the Broken Mirror, and especially with the Mouse falling right in the middle. This is too small for you. This is too small for you. It's not paying you enough. It's not giving you your whole self-worth. They're stealing from you, and in the sense, they're not actually stealing from you, but they're not paying you what you're worth is what that means in a corporate sense. And so this is just reiterating, let this go. You're hanging on to something here with the 10 of Swords, the 5 of Wands, the cold shoulder, the Mouse, the Broken Mirror. You're hanging on to something or someone that the universe couldn't be more clear. It's time to let that go and start doing this thing that you always believed in, the things you're getting the epiphanies about, the things you don't think your neighbors would like, to use that example. That is exactly what you are aligned with, and it's saying the time is now. So I would like to pull 2 final chakra cards just to wrap this up, because we did get that Reiki card, so I'm curious to see what that means for you. So we have Earth Star with depressed. So if your Earth Star is depressed, or if you are feeling particularly melancholy about something, then it's going to make it that much harder to start a new business, to start a new project. So I would definitely like to look at your Earth Star, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But then we have, this is wonderful. Look at the color of your heart chakra. It's gorgeous. So this is your heart chakra, which is open to change. So that's on the right track. Your heart chakra is certainly on the right track to be open to changing to a whole new situation. But if you're just feeling depressed because someone broke up with you or you just got fired from a job, it's going to feel like a very low energy type of feeling. And it's going to be that much harder to start up this new business, this new project, for example, that you might be wanting to start. So I think in that case, let's talk about, so in the Raise Your Vibe in 5 book, I'm going to show you an exercise for the Earth Star chakra that you can do anytime. But also, if you're interested in a free Reiki healing for your Earth Star chakra, I'm going to link it in the comment and in the description. So that's yours. You can use that anytime you want. It takes 10 minutes to do the healing. So that'll be there to help you with that energy. But again, in the Raise Your Vibe in 5 book, there's a whole section for the Earth Star chakra. So let me see if I can find a good one. But yeah, there's a whole book here on all the different chakras and how you can help the energetic fields. But I just picked a page here for the Earth Star chakra, and the exercise for the day says, treat someone else to a meal today. So when you're giving back, when you're helping, when you're being charitable, when you're really grounding your energy, and when you're feeling a certain sense of depression or sadness or melancholy types of feelings, that is a wonderful way to ground back with Mother Earth and get your Earth Star kind of kicked up and churned up a bit. So that's a good way to help you too if you're just feeling down, to just make a meal for someone, bake a banana bread for one of those neighbors we were just talking about. It really doesn't matter. Make it make sense for you. But that really helps the energy of your Earth Star. And then, and again, if you're interested in that free Reiki healing for the Earth Star, just go ahead and look for it in the pinned comment or in the description. So that is the reading. Please let me know how this was resonant for you, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.